the Knicks got the league shook. You got rumors of LeBron and Anthony Davis going to the Warriors potentially this offseason. You have Draymond Green opting out of a lot, and I mean a lot of money. And you have the Portland Trailblazers saying, hey, we made a playoff push. Even if it didn't go anywhere, we still made the playoffs with a roster that not a single soul outside of Portland believed in. And they went and got, in my opinion, better by acquiring Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies. So let's talk about it. That trade it just happened as I'm recording this is super interesting because at first I was like, I don't know if they got better, right? Because you didn't really give up much to get him, to be honest with you. I mean, you gave up Jeremiah Grant, you gave up Chris Murray. Definitely, I think Grant is more of the piece that you're like, you could have done keeping, but obviously you have to give up something for John Morant. And I think for all intents and purposes, I think the guy's steal because I think John Morant clearly can still hoop. I don't know about his off the field issue or off the court issues. What's going to happen with him in Portland? I mean, that's basically as a whole different world. Pacific Northwest is very different from Memphis, Tennessee. So we're going to see if he can stay out of trouble and he can stay healthy. Those two important things because he had issues with both for the past couple of seasons. I think he could be a huge help to Portland. And I think Portland's a team that's on the rise in the West, and John Morant can give them more time. This is the most important piece. I think John Morant can give them a lot of time, buy them a lot of time to get Dame even healthier. Because I think the team they had before or this past season, they're like, oh, we can definitely let Dame like take his time to come back. We have a solid nucleus here. And I think with the addition of John Morant without giving up much of that nucleus to get him, you still can give Dame even more time. And I think the backcourt of Damian Lillard and John Morant is going to be super interesting because Dame can shoot the lights out. We all know that. Despite his injuries, he can still shoot. And teams are going to respect that. And so you're going to have to put attention to Dame, but you're still going to have the explosion of John Morant, who can slash with the best of them, can create a lot of opportunities. And then you have Danny Avia that can shoot the ball, can also drive and kick. So you have a lot of, oh man, the spacing on this team is going to be interesting. I think you have a team that is really solid, and luckily for the Blazers, they don't have to deal with DeAndre Ayton on this team anymore. Excuse me, DeAndre Ayton on this team anymore. I think that they're a couple pieces away. I think their bench can use a little bit more help. I do think they need more production out of their bench, especially you see a team like the Knicks and how much production they got out of their bench for the playoff push and how important that is. And it's not easy to get, right? Because you obviously want your stars to be very solid first, and then your bench unit to be solid as well for you when your stars getting some rest or some key stars getting rest, right? And I think that John Morant is going to really alleviate a lot of pressure off of Danny. He's going to, when Dame Lillard come back, Dame is going to alleviate pressure off of Ja and back, vice versa. And I think that's important because Dame, for the first time in his career, I know it's going to be crazy because he obviously had Giannis, but I was not a fan of that spacing. And trust me, John Morant is not Steph Curry. He's not a Dame Lillard. He's not a Klay Thompson. I get Klay Thompson's a better comp here. He's not Klay. He's not someone where you're like, oh, we have to. If we double team Dame, that leaves Ja open to splash threes. That's not Ja's game. Now, it would be wonderful if over the next 2 seasons, Dame's fully healthy and John Morant somehow develops a super silky jumper and becomes a legitimate shooting threat. Great, or at least 3-point shooting threat. Great, but that's not Ja's game. But I do think having John Morant crash in and collapse the defense and just kick it out to Dame for these threes is going to be very, very interesting because Ja can jump out the gym. Still has his athleticism. And I think with a team that's a lot more competent than the Memphis Grizzlies have been for the last couple seasons, I do think you're going to get a John Morant that's more invigorated and more motivated to play basketball. He's not going to be the sole leader on his team or the star on his team. Is going to be Dame Lillard. And Danny Avdia just had a All-Star nod, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of team captainness going around. Whereas I feel like Memphis, the team captain, in my opinion, was definitely Dylan Brooks. I think he was the heart and soul of that team. I think when they went and made him the scapegoat, it really messed up the development for that entire team. I think drafting Zach 80 was a huge mistake for that team. Now he could in the next couple of years become one of the best centers I've ever seen in my life. Was not sold on him in college, not sold on him in the NBA. And yeah, I do think Portland has something cooking, and I do think they're going to become a solid team. But it really depends on how much production they can get out of John Morant. How motivated is he to still play basketball? I think he's plenty motivated. I think he just won it out in Memphis. I just don't think he liked the organization. I don't think he liked a lot of the coaches they put with him. I think they tuned him out and didn't respect him as a leader on the team. Now, whether that is Josh's fault or not for how he acted out, I don't know which one came first, chicken or the egg with that situation. But either way, I think there's a certain amount of respect and certain amount of respect and certain play calls that he just didn't abide by. He didn't like. He didn't see himself in Memphis's future, and I think he wanted out. And I think this is the best way. Not saying that's why he acted out these last couple of years, but I just think it didn't help the situation either. I think Portland is far removed from a lot of things in the United States, and I think it'll give him a chance. I've been to Portland. City is beautiful, but yeah, I think it'll be a great opportunity for John Morant now. Whether he takes it and runs with it, who knows? But it'll be interesting to see this backcourt of Dame and Ja, the two. So we'll see. Then Danny will slide into the three. No, yeah, because it'll be Ja then. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see a court shared with Danny Avdia, Dame Lillard, and Ja Morant. I think we're going to get a very interesting and fun Portland team. That'll be fun to watch in certain primetime games here and there. And will probably still be a play-in team for the next couple of years, but they are showing that they're serious about competing. They're serious about wanting to get better, and they do believe in their roster and their coaching, despite their coaching being very interesting. But I do think they want to make a push to be competitive. And yes, I love that because in a world where you could be the Sacramento Kings, you don't. And the Portland Trailblazers are showing that they don't, especially with these new anti-tanking rules. There is no point in not trying. There's just no point. Just swing for the fences. If it doesn't work, you're going to have to offload some guys, starting with Ja Morant. But let me know your thoughts down below of this Ja Morant news. Do you think he will gel well with Dame Lillard? I think it'll be interesting. I do think they need a better shooter, and it sucks that I got rid of Anthony Simons, because I do think he and Dame and Ja would have been a more interesting trio in this offense and would have gave the proper spacing they need. But right now the spacing is a little funky-ish, so we'll see. It just depends on how Danny's game is going to gel with Ja to see. Once Dame gets in the picture, I know we'll figure it out. But right now, Ja and Danny, it will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. See you all next one. Peace.